Ladies and gentlemen, gamers of all ages, welcome to this Tric Trac TV. My name is Jamie, this is Matthew and Benoit, and this is Mr. Greg. And this is Outlive.
Yeah, good morning,
this
Jamie.
This is your new game. Indeed, good morning, well, good afternoon to be more precise.
Yeah,
we've just
exactly.
had lunch. Now you guys, this is your second time back here.
Yes.
After the excellent game that was 10 Minutes to Kill. If you haven't played that, go have a look at it. It's very good, but I'll end my advertisement there. And this now is your second game, soon coming to Kickstarter.
Exactly.
Which this man is the author.
Exactly.
So, he can't talk, obviously. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this game?
Okay, this is Outlive. I'm sorry to told you, Jamie, but the apocalypse happened.
It was going to happen at some point or another.
So we all will embody survivors that survive the apocalypse through these shelters underground. And we have one goal, which is to be worthy enough to join the convoy. That is a walking community that takes the worthiest survivors in order to let them to go to the submarine city, the only place where it's safe here.
Right. The rest of the world being a bit of an apocalyptic wasteland.
Yes.
Mad Max style.
Mad Max,
Fallout, all that sort of
exactly.
thing. Gotcha. I think we get the theme.
Yeah. So the game is 2 to 4 player. It's around 30 minutes per player.
Right. So so it's a 4-player game. Up to 2 hours, basically.
Yeah, but well, we play in about 1 hour and a half.
Okay. So that's 2 hours if you are learning the rules.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Cool. Good. In fact, while we are on the subject of the game, however, if you guys are watching this, it's because the Kickstarter's launched.
Exactly.
So have fun with that one. Now, what you are seeing here is a prototype, first of all. It is subject to change, so if something is different between what you are seeing here and what you are seeing on the Kickstarter screen, do not be alarmed. This isn't indeed the same game, but the meeples will have changed. Some of the artwork may have changed.
Exactly.
And everything will be a lot better quality than this. Not that I'm saying that your handmade game isn't good, but...
Of course. So the artist is Miguel Coimbra, that a lot of you may know. Is a graphist of Seven Wonders and stuff like that.
Ah, right.
So we are very pleased of what he do, but art is not yet final. There will be some change, and you will see them during the campaign. There will be upgrade of materials and everything. So of course.
But probably not for this board, which is absolutely beautiful.
Yes,
if you wanted a very immersive board, you've definitely got it there.
There is few changes that will occur. For instance, this meeple and few things here and there, but
yeah, icons and such.
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay then, so we are survivors of the apocalypse, and we have to, I assume, earn enough supplies, food, and just worthiness in general, let's call it like that, to join this, this promised land, this the last bastion of humanity.
Exactly,
so,
the only hope for survival.
So how do we go about that then?
How do we go? Well, we will have 6 days. Days are the turns of the game. So each turn is divided into 2 parts. The day part, which will occur outside, we'll gather some resources, find new objects, try to fight against the competitors and stuff like that.
Competitors being
the other
one
players.
Of us. Gotcha.
Yeah, we do not play against the game. It's not cooperative style.
So is there any part of the game where you kind of cooperate with one another, or is it purely competitive?
No, you know that post-apocalyptic world is very, very tough.
Yeah.
So it's everyone for himself.
Gotcha. Well, you could have always had that sort of element where it's cooperative up to a certain point, but then there's plenty of backstabbing. But I think this is better with the theme. Exactly. So I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
So the day part outside and the night part inside in your shelters that you can see here on your board. Where you will have to handle your survivors, to feed them, to build new rooms and stuff like that, handle radioactivity and stuff like that.
Right.
Okay. So, do you want to know how it's played or not?
No, I'm just going to go home, thanks. No, if we're here, that's kind of what we're here for. Plus, these gentlemen and ladies, of course, would be very disappointed if you didn't.
Yes, I'm sure. So, how does it work? Well, I will put some elements in the game.
Okay.
Each of us will have 4 meeples outside. This is our best men that we send outside to gather some resources. All of these meeples that you can show here have a different number on them. Okay, so there is 2, 3, a 4, and a 5. These are their strengths.
Right.
It's their ability to conduct actions in the game. So if I want to collect things with a 3, I will be able to collect 3 I don't know, wood, because I want to gather some wood.
Okay, and I'm going to assume at the same point it's their strength as well. So if somebody puts down a 4,
yeah, it will collect better, and they will
have a fight.
Yeah, maybe.
Humans, eh?
But we'll see after that. So when you play the game, at the beginning of the turn, you will show an event.
Okay.
Events are a part important of the game.
Oh, and the game is in French in this video, but your version will be in the language you choose. Once again, don't worry about it.
Of course. So an event, when an event occurs, we already apply the effect on the board. So this one is a fire in the forest.
Fire. Yep.
Exactly. So it means that we will have less resources on the game, on the forest.
Depending on the day as well.
Exactly, of the number of players.
So we'll take some of the tokens off.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it will stay there and will be active as long as someone has resolved it.
Oh, right. So it won't actually, it doesn't just happen and then go away.
No,
you actually lose tokens every turn.
Exactly.
Okay,
It will add up with other events because every turn we turn a new one.
And I assume the water at the bottom here is what you need to do to resolve.
Yes, and I will come back to that later.
Okay, got it.
So once the event is played, we will going to play the game with all meeples. So on his turn, one player will lift up one of his meeple. The other one is laying down. It means that they are asleep, so they are not active yet. Okay? So I take one of my meeple and I move there on the board somewhere. Which is important is that I can only move 1 to 2 locations from my current location. Okay? So I won't be able to go on the other side of the board with that meeple.
Right.
Okay? The other thing is that I can't stop on a location where there is already someone of my color.
Okay.
Okay? So you have to think carefully of what you do when you want to do it, and according to that. Remember, this is your strength value. So if you want to collect a lot with this character here, maybe you will have to move the 4th things, etc.
And that's you mustn't stop on a zone with another character, but you can pass over it.
Yes, exactly. But up to 2 locations from your existing location.
Okay. And it's not like some resource worker management play games where you would put your tokens down one turn, then they would come back to base and you put them out again. They stay where they are.
Exactly. And on the next turn, they will have to move.
Okay.
They must move.
Right, gotcha.
Okay. So when you arrive on the location, you will be able to perform the action of this location. Let's talk about the military base in the right top corner. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So in the military base, well, like in every military base, you can find weapons. You will find ammunition.
Very useful for the apocalypse.
Exactly. So if I bring my 3, I will have a collecting value of 3. So I can gather 3 ammunition that I will put in my inside my shelter. Okay? Here. Well, in the military base, there is also another thing, which is the seaweeds that prevent me from radioactivity. Okay? So it's a token for 1 point of strength. You can take the token and you will decrease the radioactivity level of your shelter.
Oh, okay, intriguing. I would never have guessed seaweed, but I can kind of see why.
It's radioactive seaweed, yeah, anti-radioactive seaweed, exactly. So what you can do is in every location you always can choose what you want to do, and you can choose to take 2 bullets. So for my 3, I have 1 point remaining, so I can take the seaweed. Or I can take 3 bullets and no seaweed, etc. Okay, you choose to do what you want.
Fair enough.
So this is a military base. We will see the importance of ammunition in the game. We have 3 different locations here, here, and here. The wood, the fair, and the mine. These are the location for main resources of the game. Woods, microchips, and metal. Okay? When I'm here with my hero, I can collect as much as resources I need according to the number of my strength.
Exactly, so like the military base, that's always the same thing.
Exactly.
But there are other tokens like the seaweed which do other things.
But it's not seaweed.
Okay.
These are mutated animals. So in this game, you can hunt animals in order to gather some food. Food is very important because it will help you to feed your survivors.
Of course.
Okay, so you need to gather food at some point.
Makes sense.
So how does it happen? Let's take this explanation here. It will be easier.
And this is exactly the same, I assume, as with the seaweed. It means that if I send my dude with 5 there, I can choose up to 5 of these or take one of these.
Or maybe do something in between.
Of course, yes.
So here, in order to hunt, you have to match at least the number of the strength of the animal with your strength value.
Right.
Okay? So I am a 5, I can fight a 3.
Okay.
I will have 2 remaining points. 5 minus 3.
Right.
So I can gather 2 metal.
So instead of this being worth 1 point like the seaweed, it's worth as many action points as is written on it.
Exactly. This is the strength of the animal. But just look, here we have a 7. And my strongest hero is only 5.
And you can't have 2 people on, or 2 meeples on the same zone.
No, because
so how
you
does
need to have
work,
only
then?
1 people of your color on a location. So what you can do is using bullets to complete the difference.
And what are the numbers above in the little paw pads?
These are the number of food you will gather when you hunt the animal. So the first time you hunt an animal, let's say at 7, it's a 2-headed bear, mutated. So you will gather 5 food. So you will take some resources here.
The food here, and it
you
will go into
5.
the... Oh, yes, there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
When you hunt a 7 again, another 2-headed bear, you will earn the next value. So
I see.
The longer you hunt a prey, the more resources you will win.
Right,
you will become better and better.
So this, you will actually keep one of these tokens here to remind you you've already... I'd imagine these are part of the artworks that are going to change with the drawings of the animals and such. So you'll keep them there so you know how many of this animal you've hunted, so you know better how to hunt it and then chop it up, I assume.
Completely.
Okay, got it.
So you can choose to hunt an animal, and if you have a remaining point, to gather some metal.
Sounds good.
But what you can do is that you can add as many bullets as the value of the animal.
Right.
What does it mean? It means that I can spend 3 bullets, I will hunt the animal, and I will have still 5 points to gather metal.
Got
it.
Okay.
You never hunt metal. Okay. Very tough skin.
Take
Doesn't
that,
work.
metal.
Okay, so you are limited to the strength value of the animal.
Got it. Sounds good.
So these are the 3 gathering resources location. We also have here the dam just on the top of the board, which is the only place to gather.
Wait, I know. Water.
Exactly.
Oh, so
but
good.
there is a catch.
Look at me go. Well, there's always a catch.
Yeah, there is always a catch because, well, the apocalypse happened and radioactivity is everywhere. So water is contaminated and you need to decontaminate the water.
Makes sense.
So what do? There is a little device inside the dam, but in order to use it, you have to use microchip to access it. Okay. So when you are on the dam, you need to pay 1 microchip that you get from the fair, and you need to discard it to take as many water as your value. Oh,
so it's 1 microchip for 1 batch of water, so to speak? Okay, gotcha. You don't need to spend 1 microchip.
No, it's not 1 microchip per water. It's 1 and you take what you can.
Sounds good.
So 2 other locations, which are the city of the game. Name are not finals.
Of course.
So the city will help you to find some items, equipments. There are here. There's 3 equipments per city. Exactly.
Got a chainsaw, jerry can, and a torch.
Exactly, and in town they will give you some wood. So items will help you to better handle the versatility of the game.
Okay.
It will give more possibility in every location.
Gotcha.
Okay, but when you acquire an item, it's first broken. So we'll put on your left side of the board, and you will be able to fix it during the night phase.
And I'm guessing these icons here are what you need to fix it?
Exactly, but we'll come back to that later.
Gotcha, okay.
So I have a 3. I can, for 1 point, take an item, take an equipment. But I also can search inside the city. So there are here 10 and 10 cards of each. This is the same composition of cards in the East City and in the Western City. Okay.
But they're all mixed up, so we don't know what order they're in.
Yes, we will know what there is inside, but it will always shuffle.
Gotcha.
So for 1 point, you can choose to search the city, and you will find different things. So you can find chips. You can find, well, at least
lots of empty things at the moment.
This one is a good one.
Bullets.
So bullets and stuff like that. You can find resources, food, or stuff like that. But you also can find some empty cupboard.
Gotcha.
So, well, so much for your search.
But assumedly, because there would be 2 to 4 players, sometimes everybody will be on one zone, so you can come to the city to get items and maybe find some other resources.
Yeah, and you will see that maybe you will need some water and there is no more on the dam, so you will need to go to the city to gather water, but you are not sure that you can gather water because, well, there is a part of hazard.
Yeah, the risk.
So, yes. So
are there any monsters in there?
Yes, there is a...
Very important question. Very important question.
No, there is only two empty cupboards in the city, but there is all kind of resources inside, and plus another way to handle the radioactivity.
Right, gotcha. Okay? Yep, I can see that.
What is important is that when someone search a city, they will get the resources immediately on the shelter, but they will show the thing they already searched for.
Okay, so you know what's left in the city.
Exactly. So if the empty cupboards have not been drawn yet,
and there's only
I
two
know
tiles
that there is
left.
I know. I don't want to go to the city. So if you want, you can with the 3, you can search for 2 cards in the city and take 1 equipment.
Okay.
Take 3 equipment. You do as you please.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. Important when you take an equipment, when you take a card, when you take a resources on the board. Well, there is no more for the other.
Right.
So first arrived, first served.
So all these tokens that are on the board, they won't replenish?
They will be replenished at the beginning of the next turn.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay? Right. So you need to think, what do I really need?
I see.
But
if somebody comes here, for example, with a 5 and a 5 and a 5, and you get there with a 3,
well, if there is a 5 and a 5, there will be no more bullets.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Well, there's 10 on each point, is it?
Well, it depends on the number of players. If you can see here,
right. Okay, that's what the little numbers
are. So 2 player,
6,
3 player,
then 8, then 10. So with 2 5s, you'd be left with nothing.
Exactly.
Okay, I see. Got it.
So these are the city. It's the same mechanics for every city. And you have one last location, which is a bit special, which is the cargo. The cargo is a way to gather some food that can't be perishable,
right?
Instead of the food that you hunt, which will be perishable.
Right.
It's also, for the first player who came on the cargo, he will get the first player token. So he will be the first player for the next phase, which is quite important.
Yeah, I can see why.
So, but the specificity of the cargo is that there is only unique location. If I have a 4, I want to go to the cargo, the place for the 4 must be free.
Right.
So, and once I have taken, no 4 can come to this place.
Got it.
I will get the resources indicated, so 2 canned food, and I will find 1 survivor that I will add to my shelter.
Right.
Okay. So this is not final, it will be easier to handle.
Yes.
So this is the cargo. What is very funny in the game, so you have to handle your move, okay? So you can't stay on a place where there is already someone of your color. Gotcha. I told you that. But what is very funny is that you're not alone in this world. Makes sense. There will be some competitors. And if a stronger competitors come on your location while you have been activated, okay? It doesn't work when you are sleeping, but once you have been activated, we are going to, compare the value. The red one is a 5, the green one is a 4. The red one is stronger than the 4, so it will put some pressure on it.
Pressure.
What does it mean? Well, basically, it will steal you some goods. So you did the work, it will get the reward. Okay,
it is a post-apocalyptic world, so you can't really hold them to it.
It will be you are the green player. It will be you that you choose the resources that you will give to him. Okay,
we'll have to leave something behind as we flee, basically.
Exactly. Okay. But what you can do is you can use bullets in order to compensate the difference. Okay. If it would have been a 5 and a 3, there will be 2 degree to compensate. So you can use 2 bullets. You can use 1 bullet and give 1 resources. You do as you
whatever
please.
You like. Okay.
Okay, so you see, very funny game. So
how many resources do you leave behind? Is it the difference between the strength?
Yes, exactly.
Simple.
The difference between the 2 numbers.
Great. Okay.
Reduced by the number of bullets you choose to spend in order to scare him.
So to recap, if you're here, you've already harvested microchips, and he goes 1, 2, then he comes. He can harvest and attack you?
Yes, exactly. Okay. So the pressure is not an action. It's a result of your moving.
Right.
Okay, so then I can...
So he would have 5 points to spend on that as per usual, and then you would resolve a fight.
Exactly.
What happens if that is there?
So a 4 is lower than the other. He will come after. Okay. So he would have, look, there is someone getting mobbed. So I will... go the turnaround and I will gather my resources.
Okay, so if you come afterwards and you're weaker, you're okay.
There is no problem.
But if if he came afterwards, so if the 5 came
He
after
will
the
put the
2/4,
pressure on the 2-player.
both of them?
Yeah, and if another 5 come, it will put the pressure on the 2-player too.
Oh, intriguing.
Yeah,
okay,
it can be
so
an
you
art,
can really,
it can be
so
an
you
art
would,
world.
if you play it right, you can actually make off with a lot of resources from one zone.
Yes, but what is interesting is that, well, you see the resources are limited.
Yes.
So if there is 4 player, well, the fourth player will have nothing left. So you will come here just to put the pressure. Maybe it will be not that interesting for you.
Yeah.
So it's
I get it.
quite balanced.
Intriguing. Okay, it's great.
So this is the outside. So yeah,
that is a big world.
this is the day. Wait for the night.
But I like it. It's very intuitive.
Yeah.
And the board explains it well.
It's
so
pretty.
that's great.
So each player play one of his inactivated meeple when he's lying down. He activated it. He move it.
Yep.
Then it's the other player.
One by one.
Exactly.
etc. Okay.
So you see that first player can be interesting.
Okay.
Once everybody has played, we lie down the meeple.
Right.
They are going to sleep. We are going to the night phase.
Okay.
So the night phase occurs
Focuses on this.
here on your shelter.
Right.
Very cozy, actually. Yeah,
It's not
very
too
nice.
bad.
Yeah, it's
For a
not too bad. For the
post-apocalyptic
post-apocalyptic,
shelter, it's
yeah,
not
exactly.
too bad, actually. Makes me
So-
think of XCOM or Fallout Shelter.
Yeah,
there we go.
exactly. It's the same kind of inspiration, but we've done that before. So I'm sorry for you folks, but this is in French.
Yes.
It will be in English, of course. But this.
Or they might just make it hard mode and leave it in French.
No, the apocalypse is hard enough. So what we are going to do is we are going to follow each of these steps during the night phase. Okay?
Gotcha.
So the first of it is the
Resolve the events.
Yes, resolve the event. So
That
I
being
told
these
you
cards here we
there
drew
were
at the
events.
beginning.
So
Okay.
starting from the first player, he can choose or not to pay the value here to resolve the event. Okay? Once an event is resolved, you get the water to the bank. You take the event, it's removed from the game, and you will earn some points at the end of the game.
So there is a reason to do it apart from just helping out the world in general. You must put all the points on. You can't put 1 or 2 on.
No, it's not cooperative. You have to pay everything. And once you have resolved it, well, no one can resolve it anymore.
Makes sense.
Okay, so the importance of being first.
But it's not obliged to be resolved this turn. It can go one multiple turns.
But if you do not resolve it at the beginning of the next turn, we'll turn a second event, and they will add up. So well, there is a fire and a glaciation, which is quite weird.
Which is kind of weird, but
post-apocalyptic world.
Hot, cold.
It's possible. It's only the forest. This is your shelter.
It's the apocalypse. Anything can happen. So
exactly. So this is the resolving the event.
Okay.
The second step is one of the utmost important. It's feeding your survivors.
Makes sense.
Okay. So you see that you have some survivors in your shelters. They are in different location. Here's the airlock, and then you will add some survivor in the room
in different
of your
rooms.
shelters.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
On this phase, you will need to feed them. How? It's very simple.
One
you see
food
that
per survivor?
No, not exactly. It's not that hard.
Okay, explain away.
Here, you will have some food, some commodities here indicated. It's the number of food you need to give to the survivor of the room. So on the airlock, if there is at least 1 or 2 on the first line, you will have to spend 1 water. So for 1 or 2, it's the same price.
Okay, right. Okay.
If there is at least a third one, you will go on the second line, so you will have to add a second water.
Okay.
But it doesn't matter if there are 3 or 5, it's 2 water.
Right, I see. So you can't just line them up on the bottom line and
No,
just pay
you
1. You have to start at the top and work your way down. Okay.
It's the same story for the room. Once there is at least 1 survivor in the room, you have to pay the full amount of food.
And
needed.
it's not 2 of each.
No, it's 2
of any of them. Okay, great.
Exactly. So if there is 1 or 3, it's the same price.
Cool. Okay.
Okay. The more expensive, usually the more interesting the room is.
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So this is feeding your survivors.
And manage radioactivity.
If you do not succeed to manage to feed your survivor, you will lose one survivor per commodities you lack.
Okay, right. So if I lack 2 there, I would lose 2.
Exactly.
But not everybody in the room if there was 3.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay.
So handle the radioactivity. On each turn, it's indicated on the board here.
Yes.
We'll have some level of radioactivity.
Okay.
Okay. There is a reminder on your airlock.
Gotcha.
Okay. So we'll see on the first turn we'll have a radioactivity wave of 1. It's not that strong, but afterwards it will increase. Every survivor inside the airlock prevent, but only prevent, do not decrease, prevent 1 level of radioactivity. You know, they clean the room very, very fast, they come at the leak and everything. So if I have at least 1 survivor, it's okay, I prevent the first wave. On the second wave, however, if there is a level 2,
one will get through.
One will get through, so I will increase my gauge of radiation level.
Okay.
These are negative points as you enter the game, so you need to handle it.
So it's not survivors you lose or anything?
No.
Because like, well, if you lose 5 survivors in one go, that's hard to come back from.
Actually, if you are going up to there, it's the last level, if you take 1 level of radioactivity up, you have a loss. Well, it's not exactly a loss. They leave. They are going to a better place.
All your survivors
just
leave.
one.
Oh, just one.
No,
okay,
just
right.
one.
Gotcha.
But it will get back here. So another wave.
Right, I see. So you lose 1 per, and you can only gain 1 per turn if you do that action. So
you can only lose 1, yes, according to the strength of the wave.
Of course.
Okay.
Right.
Well, if you are very good, maybe you can win points.
Okay.
But it's not that easy.
Definitely.
So this is handling the radioactivity.
Okay.
Remember, you have the seaweed and you have some pills inside the city to decrease this level.
Gotcha.
There is even a room that can help to do that.
Okay, right.
Then you can recruit some new survivors.
Okay.
You're handling things quite well. Maybe you have some food left, so you can use food.
Bribe them in with a tray of mutant bear steaks to the door and just grab them when they come.
Exactly. So you can use the food to gather to recruit 1 survivor per food you give.
Okay.
So you take 1 food, give it away, and you will add 1 survivor. All new survivors are going to the airlock. So you can't recruit more survivors than the place 3 on your airlock.
I see. So how do you shift them down?
It's the next phase. Construction and activation of rooms.
Okay.
Rooms have 2 sides. The first one is unbuilt.
Right.
Okay. So here is the value of resources you need to spend in order to build the room. This corresponds to wood, metal, and microchips.
I was about to ask, can you throw meat at a room until it builds, but I was expecting something like that.
Not in this game. So you will need to pay 3 among those 1. You do as you pleased. And once done, you flip the room and it's become available. It's not yet activated because in order to activate them, to activate the room, you need to put survivors in it.
Fill them up or just?
You need to fill them up.
Okay, right. So if there's only 1, it won't activate. If there's only 3,
but if there is only 1, you will still pay the price. So just leave them empty or fill them up
in one go. Okay.
So once a room is active, you will have a power, an effect that can be applied immediately or according to the phase used during the day or the night.
I see. And just to go through these, they are in French. So
they're in French. So this one, for instance, is very interesting. It helps you to build a room with 2 resources left than the usual. So what I do, I build this room with 3 resources. I put some survivor from my airlock to the room. And then I can build another room just for 1 resources.
Great.
Okay.
But however, it will cost you 2 resources to have people in that room.
Yes.
So, but then again, it just kind of balances out.
Yeah. Well, afterwards it will balance. But these are construction materials, so it's wood, metal, and microchips. This
None of
is
which
commodities, so you need to feed them.
Yep. Okay. There is a balance to be found there. Okay.
Yeah. Very good question. Once survivors are in a room, you can't move them anymore.
Right.
Okay. So that's why you need to carefully handle your airlock in order to fool your rooms. Okay. Just an important point: every effect, if it's effect from the room or from items, will only occur once per turn.
Right.
Okay. So once I have built this second room, this room with 1 resources, the next one I build in the turn will cost me 3 resources.
Right. I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course. Makes sense.
So then comes the last part. You do the building and the activation in the order you want.
Okay, so great. So you can build a room and then fill it with people if you can.
Exactly. And you can activate a new power and use it to do something else.
Sounds good.
Then comes the fixing of equipment.
So I've got one here. Oh,
Yes, exactly. So when you get equipment, it's broken. We already told that. We already say that. It will be put on the left side of your board game. Okay.
Okay.
On this phase, you can spend the resources indicated in the top right corner. You spend them and you fix the item. You will put it on the right
side.
Exactly.
And then it has an effect at the bottom.
Yes, there is an effect. So here, in the fair, you will get one canned food when you go to the fair.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
And that's
here, when you go to the dam, you will get one extra water.
Great.
Okay. So basically, it will help you to better handle things.
And our man here has actually just put these two together, which was going to be my next question, because if you eagle-eyed amongst you will have seen the little icons on the side. What does that do?
It's help for the last count of points. At the end of the game, we are going to count points. Each equipment fixed will be 1 point.
Right.
But if you have a matching symbol, which is the case here, it will be an extra point. So 1 point, 1 point, plus 1 point.
Okay.
So it's a way of scoring.
Great. Okay.
Usually it's also items that works together. Okay.
Everybody duct tapes a lamp to a chainsaw.
Yes, of course. Better. Every items are in two exemplar in the object.
Right, got it. Okay. Sounds
here,
good to me.
And then the last phase, well, we have finished, so we are going to reset the game. You will leave all perishable food, so you can keep only 2 water in your shelter.
And no food, by the looks of it.
No meat, but you can keep as many as canned food as you want. Okay. And you can keep any
which
resources.
Which is helpfully indicated by the little text in case you forget.
Which will be, of course,
sounds good.
In English.
Unless they're feeling particularly mean.
So, at the end of this phase, we are going to reset the board. So, we will add up the value here. We'll
re-add all the...
Yes, so there is, I don't know, maybe 4 left. So, it's a 10, so you add 6 more. 6 new. We'll do everything for all the locations.
And do these come back?
No,
these don't come back. Okay, so these have to last the entire game, the tokens on the side of the board?
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
and the composition is random.
Right.
Okay, there is the same number of game pieces of animals, but it's random.
There's only one seaweed, however.
Yes,
so is that for the entire game? That one does replenish.
You reset every location according to the value.
Okay.
You will remove every object still remaining, and you'll put 3 new ones.
Okay, right. So they cycle around as well.
And then you are ready for the next turn. At the 6th turn, when the last card, the last event is flipped, you finish the turn, you stop and count points. 1 point for every equipment, fixed.
Yep.
1 extra point if you have the magic symbol.
Gotcha.
You will add the point of the event.
Right. Events drawn at random?
Yes.
Because I just see this event is horrible by the looks of it.
It's one of the hardest.
Right, so this can come first turn and really mess with people. It can come first turn. Okay, sounds good. Sorry, I'll leave that on the board. So you count those as well.
You add it.
Yep.
Then you add or
generally subtract.
Yes, exactly. Generally subtract. So yes, your radioactivity value, and you will score 1 point for every survivor in your shelter.
Okay.
And an extra point for the number of rooms you have built and fully stacked with survivors.
Okay.
So 1 room 0 point.
Yep.
2 room 1 point. 3 rooms 3 point. 2 rooms 3 rooms 3 point, etc.
Yep. Okay, gotcha.
Up to 17 points.
Right. Sounds good.
The best.
Anything with resources, leftover resources?
No, it will handle the tie.
Okay.
Eventually.
Right.
There is rarely a tie.
Gotcha.
Here.
But I assume the aim of the game is to then wander off to the promised land.
Yes,
so you just leave everything behind.
Exactly.
Well, anything you can't carry.
But everything is perishable then.
This is true. This is true. Okay.
So the best player wins.
Makes sense. Oh, we can hand in the card, however.
Nothing. Yes, exactly. The best for the end.
Right.
These are leader cards.
Okay.
They will help you.
Move all this stuff off now.
To start the game. Actually, they will give you the location of your meeple, so it's not the same according to the leader you choose.
Right.
And you will have some resources to begin, and an object that is first broken. And you will need to fix it at the end of the night phase if you want to use it.
Great, okay, and
You choose one of them.
But they don't do anything else during the game?
No, it's just for the age is for the first player, the older will be the first.
Nice, I like that, okay.
With that, I will give you also rooms.
Right.
Here, we saw that you have 3 rooms at the beginning. Every other player has a 3 same room.
Right.
But here there is empty room. So at the beginning of the game, I will give 6 rooms to each player, which will be random, and you will choose 4 of them in order to put them in your
Right, so you
shelters.
plan it out before you start playing. Okay.
And because we are very nice here, you see, it's harder enough.
They won't
you
put it
will
in
be
French.
able to build one of this room.
Okay.
So amongst all the room in your shelter,
right,
you choose.
So you will have these 3, which are already there but unbuilt.
Exactly.
I assume they'll be this side round. And you'll choose 4,
exactly.
and then you can either build one of those or finish one of these.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So it helps you
Sounds
to
good.
start the game and to help for replayability of the game.
Well, actually, I say that, I assume you just start with these on the board.
Yes.
Because they're unbuilt, but...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, sounds good. Brilliant.
So you know everything?
I think I do. Well, more or less everything. If I knew everything, I wouldn't be here, but that's beside the point. I don't know where to start. It's a lot bigger than 10 minutes to kill, because when these guys come along, your last game was 10 minutes to kill, which, like I said before, I'm a huge fan of. So I was wondering, is this going to be a big game or a little game? It's definitely a big game.
Yeah, it's definitely a big game. It's a resource management game, like German ones.
Yep.
But we wanted to have a strong theme.
There is a very strong. It's almost a Euro trash, I want to say.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. But this is management, resource
of course,
management.
it
but
is.
You will feel the starving.
Yeah.
You will feel the pressure of the other player.
Definitely.
You will feel the post-apocalyptic world.
It sticks perfectly to it. That I have no doubt. Plus, I like the fact that it's tick, 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 tick. It's you, me, you, me.
Yeah, it's
so
very,
nobody
very
stays inactive for too long.
Yes, it's very fast-paced actually. Well, you will have to think about your moving because I want to go to the dam, but unfortunately my 3 is on the dam, so I need to move my 3 first. But well, if I move my 3, maybe his 5 or your 5 can come and pressure me, so I have to
There's a lot of things taken into consideration.
Yeah.
Much like a Euro game. What a surprise.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, well, as we said before, if you're watching this video, that's because the Kickstarter for this game has started. You may not be on the Kickstarter page, but if you haven't seen the game, do go have a look at the Kickstarter page. There is probably a link up there or below there or somewhere around this video will be a link to the page. Once again, this is a prototype. The finished product will be much nicer. Once again, I'm not critiquing your abilities to build a prototype. Some pieces will have changed, the meeples, some of the artwork. All this is not definitive. This was shot roughly a month and a half before the Kickstarter starts normally. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So if you want the most recent stuff, go check out the Kickstarter page.
Exactly.
Without further ado, I think we've more or less gone round. Now we're going to do a gameplay video, which we're actually going to split up because it's a 2-hour game.
Yes.
And 2-hour videos are a bit long. So we're going to do 2 videos because, of course, these gentlemen are French and I'm English. They're going to do a French part of the game, and then I'm going to join them for the second half. My colleague Guillaume is going to do the first part in French, and I'm going to pick up his mess. Hopefully he doesn't mess it up too much for me, and see if we can't finish it. So normally that video should be up there or down here. So go check out those as well. If you're in French, it'll be somewhere around there. You'll figure it out. Gentlemen, thank you for coming in and showing me the game.
Thank you.
I think this one is going to do well.
Well,
brilliant.
Thank you.
Thank you guys for watching. Have a lot of fun with the campaign, and I will see you next time. Ciao.